The Influence Tribe, episode number 44.
Have a structured approach, like a DMO, daily method of operation. So you know exactly what you're doing. You can actually structure exactly what you're doing. So it's like a job, like a business. Turn up, do it, then go and spend time with the family because you know you've done your task. You're not worrying about all the time, and you can have some cut-off time. So it is a job that you do and then switch off because you have to switch off.
If you want success in internet marketing, you just have to follow what real internet marketers do. Right here, you're going to learn strategies, tips, and inspiring stories from up-and-coming internet marketers and current rock stars. Welcome to the Influence Tribe, presented by your hosts, Miguel Fuentes and Scott Lindstrom.
Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of the Influence Tribe show on this wonderful Friday. We want to welcome to all our viewers that are catching us on theinfluencetribe.com. Be sure to check out all of our past episodes on theinfluencetribe.net. You can get these recordings on iTunes. So if you're getting value from these recordings, be sure to like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star review. So before we kick things off tonight, I just got to ask, Daz, are you ready to become a massive influencer tonight?
Yes, I am, sir. Take it away.
All right. Daz Baldwin is a new guest to our show, and he was born in London in the UK and currently resides in Paddock Wood, Kent, UK. He's a proud father of 2 amazing twins, both 7 years old. Now, he started his MLM career back in 2014 and then found MLSP in 2016, where he's attained the accomplishment of being featured on the leaderboards. Now, his primary method of marketing and attracting leads is through Facebook, and that's by sharing content through Facebook Lives and adding value to helping others. So I'm really excited to get in tonight's episode tonight, but before I do, I got to turn this over to Miguel Fuentes, who's going to tell you about the Influence Tribe and about who we are. So Miguel, how you doing tonight? And take it away.
Oh, man, I am exceptional, Scott, as always. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm so happy and blessed and grateful to be here tonight, especially with Mr. Daz Baldwin. I've had the opportunity to hang out with him before live in Austin, Texas. We spent some time together just rubbing elbows and having fun, and he's a great guy. I love his personality. I love what he shares, and if you guys haven't seen his website, I highly recommend you go to dazbaldwin.com and check it out. It is gorgeous. I got over there and I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. I want one of these. So yes, that's part of what he does for sure. But guys, before we really get going, if you're watching this on the influencetribe.com, please make sure that when you're ready to work with a proven leader, that you click the big yellow button off to the side of the page that says, yes, I'm ready to get results in my business. I'm ready to run with somebody who can teach me and show me and hold me by the hand if I need to. And click that button, get back to the person that brung you, and just get involved with this community, with these amazing people, because we're about leadership, guys. We're about creating the best leadership in your life and in your business, because this is a people business and people follow leaders. With that, I'm going to invite Daz to come out. Daz, please come out and share your story of how you got into the industry and where Miley System Pro fits in with all of that.
Hello. Well, thank you for having me on the show. It's definitely a pleasure and honor to be here. And hopefully my accent isn't too difficult for most people.
I love the accent. That's one of my weak points. I love the accent. Sometimes I talk to people with accents just to hear them talk.
Yeah, I mean, as you said before, I kind of got introduced to the home business network marketing industry back in 2014. I hadn't worked for about 11 months. It was really sort of at that kind of low point. Really, I had probably about $50,000 in debt. My girlfriend was pretty much paying all the bills, really just supporting me. My 2 kids who live with my ex-wife, I couldn't support them, couldn't give them any money, and it's a very humbling time. And it's probably quite a common story, I think, for most people. And then sort of just got introduced to this. Someone sent a link to my girlfriend and said, and she was like, And so I was like, okay, what's that? And looked at it and immediately skeptical, kind of like, okay, it sounds like one of those things. But I was sort of intrigued because the way it was done and the message and the story that the person had, I thought, well, this sounds genuine. So I did probably about a month of research and due diligence and Googling, blah, 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 scam, and just all the classic stuff. And I couldn't find anything particularly negative, truly, honestly negative about it. So, and liking the idea of the business model and everything and how it could actually do something, I thought, right, let's jump in, let's get involved. And yeah, I sort of jumped in, and it seemed like that was it. All the answers were there. My whole future was now mapped out, and I'd probably be getting that sort of magic 10,000 a month in 10 minutes, and off we went. And so it was interesting, the first bit, because you do your list of 100 people and all the classic stuff, and then crickets, nothing. and probably took probably a good couple of months to actually sign one person, and just it wasn't quite how it was sort of not say sold to me, but kind of it's like, oh, okay. this is difficult. This is quite different to how you're how it's sort of implied, put it that way. And so I kind of brushed away, and I kind of did the classic where you sort of say, go for your list of 100 people, you warm market, burnt that incredibly, then thought, okay, Facebook, that's the one. Bam, spam, nothing at all. This is strange because I believe in this. I'm passionate about this. Surely everyone else is. No. And then I found out about these Facebook groups. Oh, that was the magic. That was the nirvana. All these groups of people that are right. That's it. I'm in the group. So posting the groups, and obviously nothing at all. I was like, this is very strange. And then you find out sort of about Facebook advertising, and you find out all these kind of things, and you spend money on ads and nothing. And just kind of just going through all these, almost I guess it's the rites of passage of a marketer that we all seem to have to do. And you won't listen to any advice anyway, just this is what you do. And you read in all the Eric Worre stuff, the Ray Higdon stuff, literally, the library textbook. And around that sort of time, I kind of had heard about My System Pro from Ray Higdon. And to be honest, I sort of went to the website, didn't understand what it was at all. Can't really see what it was. It seemed sort of expensive. I didn't understand what was it another business at all. And kind of just, that was it. And then it was only really after probably about a year and a half that a good friend of mine, Michelle Grigsby, who's quite an expert on social media marketing, she happened to mention it, and I was like, oh, I've heard about that. And then when she explained it in just a sort of, that was it, that made complete sense. And it was almost like I suppose a long-term three-way call. I'd heard about it from Ray Higdon, and Michelle told me in a different way, and that was it, magic. And I sort of joined it. And then I think what happened was immediately I went in and went, as most people probably do, because there's a lot of stuff there. But I thought, well, no, let's do this properly, and went through all the steps. And really, just I think in the next sort of 4, 5, 6 months of just doing the training and kind of just obviously the wake up calls and the weekly webinars and everything, just going through that, started to sort of realize actually there is a much sort of better way of marketing. A network marketing company, the whole concept of attraction marketing and that sort of thing gradually started to sort of sink in. And it's kind of that went on. And then it was around about August last year that the coaching program was launched, and bang, jumped in on that immediately. And and that just turboed everything. And sort of that almost like takes us from a year later up to date. There I was on stage, live the dream, and it's kind of, to look back and like, wow. But it was literally, that was a pivotal moment, that whole MLSP jumping in and actually, I suppose, solidifying my education and solidifying my focus on what I was actually doing. And that was attraction marketing, but more importantly, I think adding value and helping and taking the focus off me and putting it on the audience and the prospects, what I could do to help. As soon as you turn that around, things started to change.
Yes, that is absolutely amazing. Just put the focus on the other person, put the focus on their problems, what you can do, what you can solve in their life. I absolutely love that. Daz, I mentioned your website at the beginning, and there's one thing that really caught my eye about what you do. You're in the personal branding arena, and you're the lifestyle engineer, right? That is awesome. Talk to us about how you came to establish your brand, and what tips can you give to someone to help establish theirs?
I think that whole concept came, I suppose, along the way, and it came from the fact that prior in that, I suppose, in that time or going back a while, when I wasn't working, I'd sort of come up with some entrepreneurial ideas. I developed an app and wrote a book and things like that, and just sort of various different projects. But I suppose I was all along in a sort of a personal development journey, and what got me thinking was that kind of, to make any changes, it's always sort of small incremental pieces. You don't just make one big massive change. You sort of change small bits, small bits, small bits. And that's, if you sort of looked at it, and it just came to me one day, that it's kind of sort of re-engineering some things. If you re-engineer, a car or a machine, you look at the small things and just change things. So hence sort of re-engineering your lifestyle, which sounded a bit long and clunky. So lifestyle engineer sort of just felt better. So that's where that came from. And so it's kind of, the idea is, and I suppose that really applies to your life in general. So it can apply to, I suppose, from a personal development aspect. But as we know, in this sort of business, it's probably about 90% personal development anyway, or personal development dressed up as a business kind of thing. And so it's that fact of just sort of making those small changes, whether that's to your marketing approach or to your mindset, and re-engineering the whole process, or taking it back to basics and re-engineering it to get better results, basically.
Awesome. What tips do you have for establishing a brand?
Because it's always a tricky one, because a lot of people have asked me this, and some people sort of say, you have to have success before you can establish a brand. But it's not the case at all. I think establishing a brand is sort of what you are, what you do, and what you represent is your brand. Because if you look at particular big brands like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, whether or not you like or dislike the products or the ethics behind the company, they are big established brands. And you go, what do they represent? What does Coca-Cola represent? Refreshing fizzy drinks. And you know exactly what it is when you look at the brand. Ray Higdon, you look at what's Ray Higdon, helps network marketers, training. That's what he is. So by knowing what you're doing and what you're delivering and your target market, and knowing yourself and what makes you tick, that is your brand. And then it's just a matter of, I suppose, getting that into not say a marketable form, but it's a way of, how a pitch review, fine. It doesn't have to have a logo or a catchphrase or a tagline, but it's just you and your name. And then you doing what makes you tick and makes you happy will naturally work better than you trying to be someone else. But that package is your brand, whatever that is. And it could be social media expert, it could be blogger, it could be video person. But just doing what you like doing will naturally evolve your brand. And it's almost your brand is it's there. You don't decide your brand. It is you, what you like doing. I mean, it's a Gary V thing. He says, find out what you love to do and do more of it. And that is your true you. And that's going to be a congruent message that's coming out. And that's your brand.
That is a very, very simple way to look at it.
And I think we overcomplicate it often and think, your brand is a logo or a tagline or something like that. And it's not. It's really what you do. And almost your brand is sort of given to you by the market because of what you're doing and what value you're adding and how you do it. Say Mark Harbert, video guy. That's he's the video guy because he produces lots of videos because he likes doing videos. That's it. Diane Hockman, email, attraction marketing because it's what she does, what she likes doing, what she does best. So it just kind of evolves out of it as opposed to a pre-manufactured brand, which will never work because then what you're doing and what you're saying is incongruent.
What are you doing currently to drive your leads? Like, how are you getting your leads currently?
I'm sort of at the moment it's quite interesting because at the moment I'm currently sort of to a degree kind of not reassessing, but sort of after the Austin event, I was sort of quite such a 8 million pages of notes and things.
I know exactly what you're talking.
There's a
I
lot of
walked out of there with my head spinning. Like, okay, we have to do something now. Like, we have to do something right now, or else. It's like it's
and
gonna
there's
be
a lot
now.
of, I suppose, not again re-engineering, but kind of sort of sitting back and okay, well, doing that, but maybe we could incorporate that and hack and hone, and just not so much as part of it is the event, but also just talking to other people and how they're doing things. And going, okay, that's working for you. Okay, let's try that, and just bouncing different ideas. And but generally, how I kind of generate leads, and it's a few things. I mean, I've got a number of capture pages out there which have varying levels of success depending on how much I suppose if I'm pushing traffic towards it and things like that. But primarily it's through content, through Facebook Live, and sort of content output. Now, whether that's content is blogging. Now, I don't blog as much as I want to, two should, because I'm trying to work out my sort of ultimate DMO. And that's obviously that evolves over time. And so blogging sort of comes and goes out of that. I think I'm now pushing towards it, which seems to be the thing now, is more of a sort of a pillar post less often than a daily smaller post. Reading again another Gary Vee article the other day of doing sort of one big pillar post and then spinning content off of that, subdividing that up into little snippets, whether that's videos or little quotes or things like that, because then you can repurpose the same content multiple times. But basically, it gets back to the point. It's producing content of value based on what the audience wants, not based on what I want to put out. And that comes from questions and things you get asked and things like that. And ask from your own team, because if someone in your own team's asking it, it's going to be 50,000 other people probably asking the same thing. So it's that's it. And there's a sort of a general sort of common set of things that people always ask, and in this business, I don't think there's any sort of new questions ever, unless they're specifically around a new technology or like ManyChat or something like that. Which
right.
If it's about generally like blogging, videos, and things like that, then it's just a matter of just addressing that and putting that content out, and then getting that content, more importantly, to the right people. Because creating content is one thing, that's amazing, but unless anyone sees it, it's kind of pointless. So then it's driving traffic and targeting, which takes us on to Facebook ads, targeting people to that content, which I'm now the last probably few months, probably actually since the start of the year, but it's the whole build, engage, sell methodology of build your audience, keep adding content to that audience, and then at the end, the selling bit is the easy bit, because they like you and know you and trust you.
Right. So, that's awesome. Yeah. That's solid advice. Build, engage, sell is so simple and fundamental and powerful. And I
did recently, I think it was a few months ago, I've done a couple of boot camps where like 10-day boot camp, and it's like 4 days on build, 4 days on engage, and just 2 days on sell. Because if you do the build and engage properly, the sell bit's actually easy. A lot of people, or most people, when they start network marketing, myself included, go straight to the sell.
Yeah.
And then people don't know who you are or anything, and they're like, nope, not interested. You haven't built up that relationship, that rapport. You don't know what they want. And then if you build up and find out what they want, you ask what they want, and then just sell it to them.
That's it. I've noticed you're very, very active on your fan page. Mm-hmm. And I'm curious if because you're doing Facebook Lives, which is amazing, a super hot strategy, very awesome way to get a lot of attention to your page. What are some of your tips for Facebook Live?
I suppose the first one is be comfortable with doing video. I mean, video is, as we all know, it's sort of where it's at, and it's such a powerful medium because people get to see you as a person. Particularly good about Facebook Live or any kind of live thing. There's no redo, there's no edit. So if you stuff the thing up, carry on, and it just shows you're real. There's no posh editing or anything like that. That, of course, in itself scares the hell out of most people because it's live. And I think everyone, when they did it first, Facebook Live, are all a bit, stunted. But it's just, again, be yourself. Well, not to be so, be your best self, not just be yourself. Do the best version of yourself, not just. I want to say be entertaining, but I don't necessarily mean you've got to be this jazz hands, bouncing around person. I am quite annoyingly bouncy and shouty and clappy on my videos, which my girlfriend tells me to stop clapping. But it's, that's sort of, I feel so comfortable and I love doing it, but not everyone's like that. And again, it's being you, be your personality. But on the other hand, be entertaining, because you're wanting to attract people in to watch you. And if you're just sitting there with a very monotonal voice and it's very dull, even if you've got the best information in the world, you are ultimately a sort of a live TV show in someone's newsfeed. And if you're dull as hell, people are just going to scroll, and people are not going to, and so you've got to be, to a degree, entertaining. Yeah, obviously.
I believe that's called edutainment.
Ah, I like that. But yeah, that's exactly it. And, whatever that takes, and whether that means maybe sort of, again, this is sort of a grey area, whether it means kind of learning to be better on camera. I don't know but so you're not just, you're a bit more animated.
I feel like it really, when it comes down to doing videos and live broadcasting, it is just time in front of the camera. It's just the more you do, the better you get over time. I mean, I go back and watch, like, the Facebook has memories, right? And every once in a while, one of my videos from like a year ago will pop up and I'll watch it and I'm like, holy moly. Yeah, like, it's no wonder this video was ignored, because I used to do exactly what you were saying. I would sit there like, and then this thing happened and I was so excited. And like, just very monotone.
And it's amazing. I mean, when I first started doing videos, I mean, this is probably before Facebook Live, but I was, like, recorded a video to put on. And even then, back then, that was, that's quite a scary thing, just putting, a video. And I thought, right, because I've got all this information. I know, teleprompter app, that's what we need on my iPad. Get that there, just below the camera, so I'm kind of in the right eye line. But it still looks like you're looking up, you're looking down like that, and you're going, because it's not a real teleprompter where you look through the words at the camera. It's obviously a makeshift one, so there is a disconnect of where the camera is, and yeah, you're sort of doing that, and you're standing and you are reading exactly every word, and it's terrible. Because what I'd do, I'd kind of like write a blog post and then sort of do the blog post as the video, and yeah, the content, without being sort of big-headed, the content was okay. The content was there, but it was just the most dull video ever, because it's just me reading and looking like I'm reading as well. So no engagement, no eye contact, no gesticulation, nothing, just me sort of reading. And it was absolutely terrible. So just jumping out of that as another sort of a tip, what I do, and I've taught a lot of people to do, and this is a golden tip, is basically do a Facebook Live on your subject, whatever that is, for like 5 minutes. You've got your bullet points. Take that Facebook Live, save the video to your phone that you've done it on before you upload it. Then that's gone. That's Facebook Live done. Get that video, put it on YouTube. So that's your YouTube video done. Take the YouTube link, get it transcribed. That's your blog post. It's about 5 minutes, about 300 words. You might need to retouch it a little bit. That's your blog post. Then you can link that to the YouTube video, vice versa. So you've now got 3 bits of content out of 1. Then later that day, put the video back on Facebook as a native video. That's 4. And then chuck it on LinkedIn later, 5.
Nice.
Or maybe Medium as well. So that's 6 pieces of content from 1 5-minute video.
Wow. That was going to be my next question. I'm like, how are you getting people to see your videos? No, I'm actually curious. Like, how are you syndicating your videos on Facebook? Like, how are you getting more people to watch them right now?
I use a tool. Let's see if I can remember the name of it. I think it's Live Leap. I use a tool that when I go live on my, because there's always that thing, do you go live on your page or your profile? And I think if you're not using any tools, if you've got more people on your profile, go live there, because you're getting more likely people. If you only got 50 people who like your page and you got 1,000 friends, like actually 10 friends and 2,500 people that you met on holiday once, that kind of thing. But basically, go live on your profile. But as the numbers go up, then go onto your page. But the point is that what this tool does is, as you go live, it immediately shares it on your profile and any other groups or pages you have, and Twitter and LinkedIn. And it can also send a text message out to your list and an email out to your list as well, like immediately.
Wow.
And so that kind of immediately syndicates it out. There's also then, after the fact, of taking the link and then in groups and kind of sharing that around and things like that. So it's sort of, some of it's manual, some of it's automated, but it's just it's getting eyes. And then so you can also boost it as well. So depending on if it's got a lot of interest, a lot of sort of shares already and stuff like that, if you then boost that post as a Facebook ad, that then kind of gets even more, and people see, and it's kind of like a domino effect. The more likes and shares it's got, that attracts even more likes and shares, and off it goes.
Is that how you're getting as much engagement as you do to your page? Is it simply that, or is there more to it?
There's a few other things. I mean, I used to do previously, a sort of attempted like the whole kind of likes campaigns, which do work, but they seem to recently kind of gone up in price per like. It was going out sort of like $2-3 a like, which is quite pricey. Fine if you want sort of 10 likes, but 10 likes is nothing. You want hundreds, so that's going to cost a lot. So something that came up that I think it was mentioned at the event in Austin, but also I think I sort of heard it somewhere. But the point is, basically you do an engagement campaign of just anything, like a quote post or something that's interesting to a specific audience. So, to a very, very, very targeted, you can subdivide it down. So network marketing, and then Ray Higdon, Eric Worre, et cetera, and then Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn. So it's really heavily targeted, and get that out. And then that basically gets people liking the post. When they like the post, you can invite them to like the page, and you're getting basically then page likes for like a cent, 1 or 2 cents a like kind of thing, or engagement. Plus, it gives you all those people who are incredibly targeted as prospects to then follow up with, because they've put their hand up. Yes, they like your quote post of something, but they're also specific people in that kind of subdivided, heavily targeted niche that you can then follow up with and see if they're open, or at least start a conversation and relationship to get them into your world, to then keep going with drip feeding the content over time. So then maybe later on they'll get involved.
Okay, so I got to ask this question. This is one of the questions I wanted to ask right now, because you mentioned it very briefly. And then after this question, I'm going to go ahead and let Scott take over. He's got some questions he's going to fire off at you.
Okay.
Those are the hard questions, so be careful. So what are your thoughts on Facebook Messenger marketing at this point?
I think it's an amazing thing. I think I'm just starting to sort of dabble with it, and because again, I'm seeing it. There's a bit of time needed, investment needed, just to kind of get things not so much set up, but just sort of understand it and get it working. I've got it halfway. So it's just I haven't managed to actually get the time enough to kind of get it properly in. But I can definitely see it's powerful because everyone is using that. And this is probably the most controversial thing ever, especially at the moment in the industry. I would question the longevity or the time that it's going to be such an innovative thing, because once everyone does it, it becomes less unique. And there's certainly a time thing in there. And this, again, I get a lot of information and tips from Gary Vee, and there's sort of cycles, and whatever's the new thing, you jump on it and it works for a certain time. Marketers ruin everything. And so I think it's got massive appeal, massive power, but how long that power is, I don't know. So it's certainly worth jumping on 100%. But, I don't think it's going to be an end to email at all. It might just, because email rates are going down fine, but I don't think this is going to take over. It will sort of come up and it might drop as you get more and more bots doing it. It's more standard, because then people are getting a bit more numbed to it, and it's sort of, expected, and you almost want to go back to human again, like call centers, and there's a sort of a cycle of that. So I think at the moment it's totally, it's the thing, it's the way to go. But yeah, it's sort of, I think there is a time period where it's important to do it.
There's a time when you can ride that wave right now,
Yes,
where you
exactly.
can get on the wave, ride it to the bank, cash a bunch of big fat checks. Thank you for sharing that. That is definitely a commentary. Haven't heard about it yet, so I totally appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty and being very candid.
Cool.
Scott, go ahead, my friend. Scott's going to ask you the hard questions, so watch out. He might, he might throw one at you.
Are you getting tons of value?
Oh, yeah!
See, we told you. Be sure to head over to iTunes to like and subscribe. The Influence Tribe.
Hey, Daz, in the beginning, we all struggle as entrepreneurs. Give us something you had to overcome early in your business to succeed.
I think one of the key things was that I think that self-belief, that because often we're in those situations where everything's against us. We've got no money, there's debt, and no work, and all that, and almost like there's that feeling of failure, or am I ever going to get out of this, and that kind of stuff. And it's when you're presented with this kind of opportunity, yes, you think, well, anything's possible, but unless it's in here and in here, that anything's possible, it's hard. And so that was one of the hardest things, to kind of those limiting beliefs, and just kind of that coupled with a ton of procrastination. That's the worst combo of lack of self-belief and procrastination, because then you think, oh yeah, but I'll get around to it. That's never going to do anything. So it's kind of, I'll be honest, hands up, I still procrastinate like there's no tomorrow. So I'm like a king of procrastination. But it's sort of learning to overcome that. So I think early on it was that lack of self-belief thing, that I think a lot of personal development stuff helps meditation to kind of get that ball rolling mentally and from the heart, that then thinks, actually, I can do this. And then that moves then to, no, I will do this. And then suddenly all the fog clears and you're off.
Right.
But I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges, that mental, this is not, I can't do this, which we all can.
You got have that mental shift.
Yeah.
Give us your proudest moment so far in your network marketing business.
This is the trouble. So I've been asked this before, and I think I suppose there's many things. Being recognised on stage in Austin was one, and just, it sounds very cheesy, but just seeing other people that I've helped kind of doing well and that sort of thing. But I suppose the proudest moment, and again, it's not even a sort of a moment related to it as such. It's basically when my 7-year-old twins even know what a webinar is. And they say, that's what Daddy does for work. And that concept that 2 7-year-olds know what a webinar is, and that's sort of my work. It's hilarious, but just kind of think, that's they see that as something, and I think that's just hilarious. They know that Daddy's teacher is Ray and Brian, and it's just like and I have to do lots of homework. And so having them sort of knowing what a webinar, and using the word webinar, and that's what I do for work, kind of thing. It's kind of, that's like, that's kind of, I'll have them doing webinars soon, don't worry. But yeah,
right on. Can you give us one or two of your favorite quotes?
Oh, there's there's so many, and
I told you it was hard.
I generally I sort of have ideas for quotes, and I generally murder them, so I kind of give my rough version of the quote. But I think the one thing that holds true with me and my whole philosophy is the whole Zig Ziglar one, is if you can help as many people get what they want, you can have everything that you want. And that seems to be also, that's played out as well, and has played out. That literally, you just concentrate on everyone else, it'll all come your way anyway. You haven't got to worry about it, And it's from, I suppose, an initial coming into this business from a sort of a sales perspective, that seems counterintuitive, because you think, I've got to sell, I've got to make money to pay the bills and all that. But actually, if you forget that and just help those people, you'll get that. It's bizarre, it's backwards, but that just seems to be the law of the universe. The other quote is something, I suppose it's got nothing to do with the industry at all, but I think it plays out, and I've used it a lot. And it's basically, if it's not raining, it's not training. And this comes from, I'm a scuba diving instructor. The instructor who taught me, the guy called Matt Barnes, and I think this is an army saying, meaning like if it's not raining, if it's not hard, it's not worth anything. So I think it works nicely with this as well, because basically, if you're scared of doing video, do video. Go through that pain, because then it's going to be worth it. Or pick up the phone and make those 100 calls if you hate using the phone, because you'll get better at being on the phone, or writing blogs or whatever it is. If it's not difficult, there's no value to it, kind of thing. So it sort of plays out nicely, probably to anything in life, to be honest, but it kind of works out quite nicely with this.
Give us one habit that's helped you personally become successful in your business.
I think we sort of touched on it earlier. It's be comfortable with video. Do video. We do everything on video. I'm so ridiculously comfortable on video now. I honestly, and this is true, I have to be reminded to put a shirt on by my girlfriend Frankie, because I'll just get on and just start chatting, and like, oh, I just sort of just slink down here a bit. I'll give it now. This isn't a candid interview. Often when I'm doing a Facebook Live, I'll have a t-shirt on, probably, pants on. English pants, such as underwear, not trousers. And it's just this bit is covered, because, you don't see that bit. And so it's kind of, and also if I've done, everything is done on video. It's the way to get your personality across with people. People connect with you much more. Right. And so if you're not doing video, and I mean a lot of video daily, ultimately get your face all over the place. Someone in Austin said to me when I was there, like, you're everywhere. And that's the key, because you could go, I don't want to annoy people, but yes, you might annoy some people, but the more you're around, the more people are going to see you, therefore know you, like you, and trust you for when you speak to them and they see your content to make to sign people up or get sales. So video, and put a shirt on.
Okay. Sound advice. Will do. Daz, leaders are readers, so they say. So give us one or two books that you've recommend that you've read in the last 6 months.
Okay. I personally prefer audiobooks. Okay. But it's the audio version. So I suppose I'm going to give you three. One is Go for No, the network marketing one, which is the new adaptation with Ray Higdon on that. Another one is a book by Jen Sincero, You're a Badass at Making Money. There's also the one You're a Badass as well, but the Badass at Making Money is really, really cool. That was recommended to me by Jelena Ostrovska. It's like an amazing book. Really kind of it's very kind of Gary V in its style. Very good. And the other classic, which I only really read, I've read it listened to it 50 times now at the start of this year, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. An absolute classic book. I think in many ways it's better than Think and Grow Rich. Getting controversial statement, but it's certainly up there, because it's literally saying, listen to other people, see what they want, and give them what they want. That's it. And it's hugely powerful, and everyone in any walk of life should read that. And particularly our industry, it's very, very powerful, very, very useful.
Give us one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received as it's related to your business by somebody.
I think it's probably from Ray Higdon. It's, focus on other people, focus on what other people want, as opposed to, what you have or what you have to sell, or your product or anything like that. And that goes into the kind of the Zig Ziglar quote, the same thing, but it's basically, just focus on helping and other people, because then you're actually going to sell more. I think initially in a sales environment, it's counterintuitive.
Gotcha.
That's been probably the most powerful switch to go across.
Can you give us a moment in your business that you were struggling, and then all of a sudden you had the aha moment, the light bulb went off, everything started to click for you? Give us that moment, that breakthrough.
I would say it's probably when I suppose I'll say first, because I think you have peaks and troughs of activity. But when I first did consistent activity, sort of blogging, Facebook Lives, emailing my list. And you first start doing it and sort of nothing changes. But then miraculously, you suddenly get more opens, and you're not saying anything different. You suddenly get more views, and it proves that it's that consistency of output, whatever that output is, but just constantly doing it. Doing the odd Facebook Live once a week is not going to cut it, but consistently doing stuff, you just notice so that the engagement goes, exponentially up. So that was the real kind of thing. It's just consistently doing your output
right
as yourself, not trying to be this marketer or this, not trying to be Ray Higdon, which I think probably all of us at some point have tried to be, because he's like the master. And you do it and you think, okay, yeah, that's because that's what Ray would do. And then you're not being you. And then, so I suppose there's two. There's one, just consistently, but also the moment I started to think, I'm just going to be me, kind of faults and all, just do it, whatever. I'm like me. I'm actually still toned down. I'm a lot more sweary than I'm not sweary at all, but I'm a lot more sweary. I'm very, not quite the Gary V level, but I'm a lot more sweary in real life than I am on video. I'd like to be a bit more, but it's still a bit of an awkward one, because again, you're very polarizing your audience. But I think the point is that being genuine yourself out there, then suddenly your message is congruent to how you're acting. It's you. There's no fluff. There's no facade. And doing that consistently, then that's what pulls people in. And that was a big moment.
Well, before we go ahead and move on, folks, I want to go ahead and turn this over to Miguel. Miguel, do you got any final statements or any questions you'd like to hit up Daz before we ask him the $1 million question?
I naturally have 100 questions for every marketer that comes on here, but in the interest of serving our people, like we talked about, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I have to let you guys know, okay? TheInfluenceTribe.com. Go over there. If you're watching this there now, you're going to click that big yellow button. You're going to get started. You're going to join this community because it's awesome. It rocks, and it will help you get results. A couple of other features that are on that website now. You can join our Facebook group directly from that website. And there's also detailed instructions on the page on how you can start making money sharing this content. So head on over there to theinfluencetribe.com. Check it out. You'll be certainly glad you did. You'll be able to hook up with a proven leader. And guys, go click the button. Get back to who brought you. Rock and roll. That's all I've got to say. Scott, fire away. Give him the hardest question.
Okay, both barrels. Are you ready for the $1 million question, Daz?
Yep.
Okay. You've lost all your income, but you currently have all the knowledge that you possess. If you had to start making income right away, how would you go ahead and do that?
I would say, I think I actually started it from sort of ground zero. I think it's back to that. I said it sounds very cliche, but they're sort of using that build, engage, sell methodology. Sort of get out there, start building an audience. Whatever niche that happens to be, whether it's the same one or another one, but building that audience by providing information, value, content for what they need, not what I want, but what they need. Engaging with that audience and kind of building up credibility by serving them. And then off the back of that, there's going to be a natural sort of sales process, whether that's signing up in a business, selling a product, a course, training, what affiliate thing, whatever. But it's that same methodology, just adding serving an audience by knowing what they want, and that's the important thing, as opposed to I have some stuff to sell. Do you want to buy it? It's like, no, forget that. What do you need? Right, let me go and get that for you. Here you go.
Daz, do you have any parting words or wisdom for our audience? And what's the best way they can get in contact with you?
I suppose parting words. Use video. Use video. Video. You can't get enough of video. Get comfortable with video, and you can't do too much video. Have a structured approach, like a DMO, daily method of operation. So you know exactly what you're doing, even in a calendar or something like Trello, where you can actually structure exactly what you're doing. So it's like a job, like a business. Turn up, do it, then go and spend time with the family. because you know you've done your task. You're not worrying about all the time, and you're not at the restaurant with your family still doing Facebook Messenger. You can have some cut-off time. So it is a job that you do and then switch off, because you have to switch off. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it, just consistently. But having that, you'll be able to do stuff consistently, and doing that consistently will get people coming to you. Boom. To get contact me, Facebook, Daz Baldwin. I think I'm the only one on there, but if I'm not the only one there, I think I show up first. I don't know, but my website, dazbaldwin.com, as McGraw mentioned, or you can email me, daz@dazbaldwin.com. So it's quite easy to get hold of me. I'm everywhere, apparently.
All right. Thanks, Daz, for coming on tonight. We totally appreciate you. You're definitely a massive influencer.
Thank you very much.
You are the product of the 5 closest people you hang out with. And tonight you've been hanging out with Daz. So we want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for joining us today at the Influence Drive. All right, here's what you got to do. Run, don't walk. Over to theinfluencedrive.net for recaps of every show, training, and helpful resources. Make no mistake, your internet marketing success is waiting for you. Head to the website and prepare yourself to become a massive influencer.